What is up, guys, and welcome back. We're doing more body work today. I'm going to start on the other side, I think. Kind of rained today. I wanted to drive the car, but it rained, so I don't know. I was just thinking I might as well just start working on the other side. Sooner I get this thing done, the sooner I can get it painted and get it looking good and then drive it all the time. But as of right now, don't like driving it in the rain too much just because I want to waterproof a couple of connections and some stuff like that. But yeah, I got the car backed in so we can work on this other side here. But yeah, so I'm liking the way that the molding delete is looking on the other side. I think it looks really sweet, so excited to get this side all fixed up the same way. And yeah, not as many dents on this side to worry about, so we should just have to do the lower areas there. Alright, so I got this thing pretty well dissected. I hate to rip this waterproof layer off here, but I have to get in there. I'll have to find out some way to reattach it permanently when I'm fully done with everything, because this, does serve a purpose. I think I mentioned that before. But water does get in the door. As you can see right here, there's all kinds of water in there. And honestly, I feel like that's too much water. I just looked at my speaker, and my speaker is so wet, it's like rusting. So that's not so good. What I do know that I want to do is build a speaker, like an adapter sort of plate for this, because the speaker doesn't really fit. Because I don't know if you can see the window track right here. The speaker doesn't actually work. It doesn't fit this car. It's too deep. So the window actually hits the speaker on this side. That might have been what killed the regulator on this side too, because this window does not work, or killed the motor or whatever. But yeah, so I did order 2 new regulators, and they should be here hopefully soon. So I'm gonna put 2 new regulators in this thing and hopefully have really nice fast windows, because I've never had new regulators in a car, so that's gonna be pretty sweet. So that should definitely be a process. I might leave the car apart until I get the one for this side, do this side, because this is the one that doesn't work at all, and then put it back together. I'm not really sure, it's not too much work to take the door panel off, as you guys just saw from the time lapse. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and tie that paper up there, get it out of my way, and see if I can start taking off these moldings, which it looks like there's no clips that are actually clipped in. Or yeah, there's one right there. So these moldings have been taken off, so I'm hoping this car has not been hit on this side too, or something like that. I guess we'll find out once we get into it. But yeah, so I'm gonna get started. Alright, so I think I mentioned it before, but I got 2 new regulators coming for this thing so that I can fix the windows being slow. But while I had it apart, I decided it would be a good idea to actually diag why the window itself doesn't work, just to make sure that it was the regulators, because I knew there was a possibility that it wasn't, because I had what I thought were switch problems before. But the way you'd actually diag this is I've got a couple of probes right here that I stuck into this connector, and this actually goes to the window motor. So I have them stuck in here and hooked up to my multimeter. So when I turn this multimeter on and I turn the key on, what should happen when I flip the switch, you may see voltage when I flip the switch in the up direction. Yeah, and we saw some voltage there. When I flip the switch down, we don't see any voltage. Trying it a couple of times here. I try up again, we get some voltage there, nothing down. So this switch is not functioning. So what we're going to do to verify this is probe the wires on the switch itself. There's 5 wires coming out, so we're going to have to see which wire is which, and then Once I figure that out with a wiring diagram, which I'll show you guys, then we'll figure out which ones we're going to probe here to find out. So I have the diagram right here on my phone, and we can see the front passenger window motor. Here, let me put it down so I can point. So here's the actual motor itself, and here's the switch on the passenger side, and this is actually the master switch up here. So the way these cars work, and most cars, is it has to run through... Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Alright, sorry guys, that was my lovely girlfriend. She called me. Yeah, so back to what I was talking about is the front passenger window motor, and what it does is it runs through the master switch when you use this switch right here. So what we have to do is check on these wires right here. So I'm going to go ahead and probe this A wire right here, and I'm going to hit that one. So we know the colors of all the other wires. So we got blue and yellow, blue and red, blue and white. So basically we're going to look at this guy right here and find out whichever one, one of these is, let's see, blue and black. I'm not sure if that was one of the colors. Blue and red, blue and white, blue and yellow, blue. Okay, so the blue and black one I think is going to be our A. So with the key on, and we pin this corner blue and black wire here, we should have 12 volts. So I'm going to get my test light and hook that up, and we'll see if we can probe that. Okay, so like I said, with the key on, we probe this wire. We do have 12 volts there, or what I assume is 12 volts. Our test light lights up pretty bright. So that is our source right there. Now we're going to find out which wire we need to be on. So on this one, to have it go down, we need to be on the blue and white wire. So if we go on blue and white right here, and this might be tough to do while holding the camera, but if I stick it in the blue and white wire and I go down, we get power. So I think what that means is that it's the master switch on the other side of the car. So now we can check blue and red is up. So if we go in the blue and red and we go up, we're also getting it to turn on. So that means, yeah, that means that it's our master switch on the other side of the car. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and pull that apart and test that switch. So it looks like this switch is functioning. Yeah, so basically I will have to either put a master switch in this thing, or I've heard some people have luck actually cleaning the switches. So maybe next time I'll try that and I'll show you guys my attempt at cleaning the switches. So we'll see how that works. But for now, I'm going to get started on this bodywork. So I think this time I'm going to try the easier way. I'm going to grab my heat gun and I'm going to go ahead and start pulling this trim off here on the outside. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this screw. There's like a cover on here. I think it's like a 10 mil, but this comes off, and then there's a screw underneath it. And then once that screws off, you can really just rip this thing off. But I'm gonna try to use a heat gun this time because there's double-sided tape, and it's much easier with a heat gun. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll show you guys that process too. Okay, so I lied. It's not a screw. It's actually just this, and it snapped just like the other side did. I remember now after I tried to take it off, it snapped just like the other side. So that kind of frees this thing up. You can see we're flexing here. You can see the tape in there. So that's basically what I'm going to use the heat gun for, to heat up that tape. I can see there's like one clip hanging on like right around here on the inside. So when we get there, I'll try to maybe either go at it from the inside or whatever. But got the heat gun here. I'm gonna fire this thing up and just start heating this guy right where that stuff was. And once it gets warm enough, it should just peel right off. And then we'll get to grinding these little squares just like we did on the other side. Alright guys, so it's the following day, and I did take the car to work today, and it drove great. It feels good. I'm really just so stoked that this thing is like, you know, driving like I want it. I mean, it makes good power. It's nothing crazy. It's not the fastest car for sure, but like, it's just fun, you know, like it's just a good time to drive it, you know. I really enjoy it. But yeah, so think where I left off last night was I just got the molding off here, and then I ended up scraping off some of the goo with a razor blade and hitting it with a little bit of lacquer thinner just to clean it up. So I think my next course of action is going to be to I'm going to start grinding, I guess. I'm going to have to, disable the vehicle until I get all the bare metal covered again, just because I don't want it to rust on me and get any rust contaminants into our bodywork, because, if you end up with rust in there, it's going to bubble from the inside out. Yeah, and another thing about all that water in the door, like yesterday, I know you guys saw all that water that was in here after it had rained. That just goes to show you that when we fill in these holes here, we have to prime this from the inside, because if we don't, it's going to rust in there, because water does get in there, and that would not be good if our bodywork was bubbling in a year or two. So, I'll definitely cry, like a lot. But anyway, yeah, we're going to do what we have to do. We're going to do it right, and hopefully we don't have any issues. I guess we'll have to just find out. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and start grinding the inside and outside and get to filling in these holes. Alright, so I'm all sanded up on the outside. It's kind of cool. You can see this is where the clear coat is scuffed, and this is when you're getting into the base coat, and this is when you're getting through the base coat, I guess, and into the, I don't think that might be primer, and then there's another primer. This is probably a sealer from factory, and then there's my 80 grit DA scratches, and then the 36 grit from the this guy right here. I call it a cookie wheel. I don't know if that's the right name for it, but I need to get a new one because this thing is crapping out on me. It spins, but it doesn't actually spin. I don't know. It works sometimes, but yeah, so we are ready to go here. Now I just got to make all these individual pieces, and I'm going to try to make them a little bit bigger this time. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and cut all these pieces out with my angle grinder and clean them all up, and then we'll be ready to panel bond. So I got all 5 of my pieces cleaned up, or cut out and cleaned up. They're all hit with a grinder, and then I think last time I hit them with denatured alcohol just to make sure they were very clean. So I'm going to put some gloves on, hit them with denatured, and I'm going to go ahead and throw a new tip in my panel bonder, stick it in the gun, and then we should be ready to go on this. I'm going to get the Gorilla Tape ready. I don't know where that is, but that seemed to work really well last time. Here it is. That seemed to work really well last time, so I think I'm just going to do that again. And yeah, this thing should be dry tomorrow. So, yep.
Oh my God.
Alright guys, so I got the whole thing panel bonded minus the front and the back one, which I'm going to weld like the other side. I don't think I'll do that tonight, but maybe I will. I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see what time it is, but maybe I'll get into doing that too, so then tomorrow I can be putting some filler on, so that'd be pretty sweet. We're definitely making good progress here. It looks good from the inside. I ended up just putting one big piece of tape this time on each one, and it came out looking pretty good. You can see them all taped up in there with my Gorilla Tape. So yeah, looking good. It's gonna hold for sure. I went even heavier on this side with bigger pieces of metal. I really one up the other side. I wish I did the other side a little bit beefier, but it is what it is. It'll be fine. I just I like to overkill stuff. So this side makes me happy. I like it. All we got to do now is the rear door, and then we are all done with filling holes. Actually, no, fenders, never mind. We'll never be done, honestly, but we're getting there. What's up, guys? So I'm doing a little more welding on the car. I decided not to cap the video off last night and continue it on today because I'd like to get these 2 holes welded and then get some filler in the holes, and then maybe even do a little bit of shaping filler tonight. So that's my goal. I don't think it's too much. So we'll see what we can get done. But I've already started to tack this guy in here. So I ended up putting a bolt on it this time, which might have been a mistake because it's on there really good. So I'm just waiting for it to cool down right now. I'm gonna throw another tack on it. And all the panel bonders seem to have dried up really good, nice and hard. So that came out good. So I'll go on the inside, take the tape off, and I still have that other hole to fill right there. I made it a nice extension for my welder ground since this thing is always too short. Now I have like a linked couple of ring terminals in there. But yeah, so cord's all the way extended. But now we got more room, so we're good to go with that. I just got to keep welding on it, and this one too. So I'll probably throw the time lapse on and see if we can get something done. Okay, I just had to take a second to show you guys how perfect this piece I made fits in here. Yeah, I never felt more like a pro fabricator in my whole life. I just totally eyeballed it, did a little bit of grinding, held it up there, and man, does it fit good. So I just got a little tape holding it on from the back here, but wow, you'd almost think that I knew what I was doing from looking at that. Wow. All right, let's weld this thing up. Alright guys, so that definitely took me a while, but I got them all welded and ground, and I don't think we have any panel warpage that I can feel or see, so I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, no, the panel feels straight, so I think we finally got the hang of this whole thing here. So I'm gonna clean this panel up with nothing crazy, because I don't want you to we don't want to get anything like you know, chemicals stuck under our body filler. So just gonna blow it off and then you know, wipe it down really good, and then we'll go ahead and lay some tape here and get some filler in this thing, and then we can let that dry. Alright, so I did get some filler on here and it's all hardened up. I didn't bother showing you guys because you've seen it before, but yeah, so now all I gotta do is block this. Nah, I don't think I'm going to do it tonight. I think I'm going to call it and go edit this video for you guys. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this bodywork / window diag video. Hopefully it's not too long. I don't really know how much footage I have, but we'll see how long it ends up being. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to see more like this, and see the rest of the window setup, because I got the regulators coming in and I still want to probe the master switch. And another thing I want to do is make those speaker spacers so my windows don't hit the back of my speakers anymore. So I did get some starboard for that, which I'll show you guys. This stuff right here. So that I got to make some speaker rings It should be good since it's going to get wet in there. I figured it would be good to use some sort of composite material. So yeah, we're going to be good to go. And this thing's really coming along. So all we really got to do is this rear door, and then we're going to move on to the fenders. I think that's the next step because we still have the holes in the fenders. Probably take both fenders off and do them like that. But yeah, anyway, peace out guys. I'm going to quit talking. Thanks a lot for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.